Hello my 7 deadly sins family and friends, welcome back to another video. Sorry for no content recently. I'm still sick. I've got like a lump in my throat and I'm feeling lightheaded a lot, but I wanted to bring you some content as it's been a while since I did something proper. Obviously we're going to do a recap of Gowther, the live stream, and whether it's worth pulling for him. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be lots of cuts because I'm probably have to drink quite a lot. Okay, that's a bit better. So his elements have changed since what we last thought and all the leaks, and I'm guessing, just like Elizabeth and him, that they've changed elements and how his kit works. I'm guessing that's going to be what's going to happen for the future units as well. It kind of makes sense that they switch things around, so then it's still a bit of a surprise for us. If they were going to keep to that schedule, I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, so he's lightning, physical lightning. This is a bursting setup. It's very similar to Clotho's bursting setup, where it's kind of like a sub DPS. He bursts, but he also busts himself up to do some damage. And a lot of it here says defense shatter, and it's just for him, just so you know. It's not for anyone else, unfortunately, unless you like P10, and we'll come to the potential later. But let's have a quick look at him and his wand with burst efficiency. So you basically want to use his normal skill first, and then you're going to hold his Q. And it's a very quick hold to do a chunk of damage, and it's actually quite a good multiplier. Activating lightning burst, increase the lightning attack for the team. Attacking the enemy fully will fill, and then basically, yeah. So basically, when lightning burst is activated, the team's lightning attack is increased for the set duration, which is quite nice. So Gclef will burst for us with the E. As you can see, it's a multi-target hit, and it also is decreasing the lightning defense from it. And it's got 7 stacks here, so it stacks up quite a lot, which is quite nice. Again, we'll go over the actual stuff, but just so you can see the animations. And then you want to hold the Q down for a bunch of damage. The reason why they have a barrier there is because if there's a barrier, something else happens, and we'll see that as well. And then it reduces the defense. It's got max stacks, or stacks up to multiple times, and the ultimate inflicts a lot of damage. And yeah, and then if you use ultimate with lightning burst, you get something extra, basically. So if I cut them over. Okay, so I'll switch over so we can kind of see this. Hopefully it's big enough for you. His adventure skill halts the target's nerve system for a set duration and render them unable. So this will be interesting to see if it's usable within battle, because if this is like a stun, then it could be quite good, but it doesn't. I'm a bit skeptical. But yes, so passive, when there's a lightning burst, you give attack increase equal to 10% of the hero's attack, max 3k, which is okay. It's not too bad. 3k is not too bad. And then, as I said, he gets a bunch of burst efficiency, or he bursts quite high with his normal skill, because each hit is doing it an extra 100, right? So that's massive. It hit a lot of times, like 7 to 8 times, and you get like 7 to 800 burst gauge just from the additional stuff, let alone everything else. And then it reduces the enemy's lightning defense by 6%, stacking up to 4 times, so 24%. Then basically damage, and then even more damage if there's a lightning burst. Now, if we go over his potential for the wand, the tier 5 or the potential 5 is actually quite nice, because even more projectiles. I'm guessing that you probably have 4 to begin with, and then with tier 5 you get another 4, so then you get max stacks each time. But then this means that the lightning defense, instead of being 24, will be 48. So it's quite a lot of lightning defense down. I don't know exactly how this works, whether it'll be as good as a normal defense down on other enemies, because maybe they have elemental defenses, so it might not be as useful, but it's okay. It's a decent amount. And then at P10 you reduce the shatter resistance. So basically everything in his kit, other than obviously the defense shred, is going to basically boost his damage. Like, look, see, when the hero's lightning burst actually crit chance increased by 25%. That's him, right? It doesn't say allies, so that's not going to help the allies. this is going to make him be able to use another special attack again, right? So that's even more damage from him. Nothing for the allies. And then it's even more power. So basically, at P5 and P10 are the only ones that will help a team. But again, I don't know how much or how important lightning defense reduction is in comparison just to normal defense reduction. And then defense shatter. Like if you're going to get to tier 10, sure, I guess. But at the moment, I think P5 is just nice enough. So if we go back, and I'm going to skip over to the next weapon. So there's a book, and basically you can link together, so you can increase the damage you deal, and special attack decreases defense while pulling enemies towards you with the link and stuff. Ultimately, you can render even bosses unable to act for a certain period of time. So if this is a stun, this could be really useful. Let me bring that back for a second. If this is a stun, it would be really useful for certain characters that require stun to like do anything. So we'll have to see if it's actual stun or not. But then the engraved gear for this one, which was interesting to see, because if we go back to this one, did I miss that out? I did miss this one out. So sorry, I'm gonna have to cut this in as well. He's got a gluttonous wand, increases burst efficiency as we thought. Give lightning damage, increases special attack damage to enemies with the lightning field. Okay, so the gluttonous wand is decent. It's going to make him burst faster and then increase allies' lightning damage. We'll have to see the percentages to see how good it is, and increases pierce, which is quite nice. So basically, if they've got a barrier, increase the pierce. And this is where we get even more lightning attacks. So basically, it's not too bad of a support for a burst. But yeah, we'll have to see the numbers for that. If we go back over to this. With all the link stuff, it reduces defense. It's pretty good. We've already got defense reduction from Elizabeth, and all the other stuff she does. So is it going to be worth it just for the book? We'll have to see the percentages, which we'll go over in a second. But with the engraved gear, increases link effects damage and increases team crit damage. So we'll have to see how much crit damage it is. If this is less than what you get from Elizabeth, then definitely nowhere near as worth. And then all elemental damage when using the ultimate move. So we'll have to kind of see how worth that is, because from what I'm currently seeing, is that he's kind of like Elizabeth in a way, with all the reductions and everything, but with no heals. And the late game content, you can't need heals. So let's have a quick look at this. The skills in use, the Q, a level whip, which is quite nice. You can use it twice, it seems. Interesting E, that does take quite a long time just to get the link. But as you can see, you got the double debuffs. And then look, they were the frozen. Okay, so it's not a stun. So maybe if there's something that says if the enemy's immobilized, something happens. But yeah. Got the link debuff, and then we've got the defense reduction debuff. It doesn't look like it's a stacking one, it's just a full-on one, potentially. And then it looked like crit defense down as well. So let's go over to this and let's look at the Gomorrah. So the passive, each time an ally hits an enemy affected with the link, you get 1% increased attack, maxing at 25 times. So for those that hit a lot and often, this could be quite good. It could even be, I was thinking it was going to be good for Ice Merlin, but it could be good for Ice Merlin in the sense because of her beam that hits a lot rapidly. So this could stack up the 25 times quite easily. So it's got potential. And then it decreases defense by 20%. It's okay, not like massive amounts, but 20% down, not too bad. I can't remember how much Elizabeth has. Maybe she does 20% too, so about the same, you know. But then the link decreases block rate. This is actually quite nice, decrease the block rate. But with the amount of pierce, we get like 3 pierce from Elizabeth, so it kind of like counteracts this as well in a sense. So I'm not sure if it's how worth that is. And then the shutdown, but it increases the damage taken by 100%. So this is actually quite nice. How much did it cost? Oh, But look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It costs 5 to ultimate. So, like, oh yeah, let's just ult to get the 100%. But 5 seconds. It's not worth it. What a complete waste. Not worth it at all. Let's see what the potentials are. At P5. At P5, special attack normal skill, increase their range, change the special attack into a skill that can be used twice, so you can apply the defense decrease twice. So this means you can get 40% defense reduction, which is actually quite a lot. That is actually quite nice. And if you use them in like at the same time with Elizabeth, that's a lot of defense reduction. So maybe okay. As a P5, you know, it's pretty good as a P5, I'd say, actually. Restores magic gauge by 500 when attacking an enemy with the special attack or normal skill. So again, it's really stupid because you want this after his ultimate, but you don't have a long enough time because it's only 5 seconds. Amplifies damage, link power, but link by 100%, decreases score down for 2 seconds. Really that good. And then this does nothing, and then increases by 3 seconds. 8 seconds. That's not. Yeah, man. The defense reduction is nice, but it's I don't know. You'd want this on to be used with on your allies and stuff, but it just costs far too much. I don't know. It just doesn't sound good enough, in my opinion. Okay, let's move on quickly and look at his other bits. So the staff is no engraving yet, just like we have with Elizabeth. Currently, it decreases lightning resistance, deal more damage, buff duration and efficiency. This one literally sounds like the worst one there is, and it just sounds terrible. But let's have a look at the animations and stuff for you guys, just to see what it is. But it just does not sound good. So, got the Q. That's the basic attacks. Come on, G-Clef, do the Q. Got the big area, does a bit of damage and stuff. We've got the buff duration and lightning res down, you know. It's really cool animations, like really cool animations, but it just does not sound like a very good thing. Let's see if the combo ult. It's really weird that the combo ult is on the weapon that we don't have the engrave either. So it's a pretty cool combo art and stuff, which means that you can use him and then Merlin to combo art. How much was it? Let's go back. So there's a 2. So it's the same amount as Daisy. So is he good enough to replace Daisy? I don't know about that at all. But yeah, we've seen that. Let's have a quick look at his thing again. Passive, because all allied lightning heroes pierce up to 80. Basically, pretty much the same as Elizabeth's. When you get a P6, when allied hero actually combat attack, all allied lightning heroes debuff duration. I don't understand why we wanted like debuff duration and other stuff. It just, I don't think it's that needed really. We can just build it on the characters themselves. It decreases lightning resistance by 40%. Again, Elizabeth does all elemental resistance down. I know this is like 40% and stuff, but why are we going to be using a lightning versus a resisted enemy? You know, you'd want to use the one it's weak to. You know, God's allies charge with the other circle on the field. Buff duration and lightning damage. 25% lightning damage is okay. And then ultimate. If you use him as the combined ultimate guy, then all allies, heroes, magic charge efficiency, lightning heroes, magic charge efficiency. I don't think it's worth it. Well, no, you wouldn't want to do this. You want the DPS one to be the main one. Oh my god. Okay, so P5 slightly increases the range, special attack and decreases the enemy's criticism. Not bad. Use normal skill because all around lightning attack. Again, lightning attack is not like fantastic, but 35% not too bad. Amplifies normal skill power by 100. Just match cards by the fixed amount by 75 attack gauge. It's okay. I'm not too like impressed by that. And then when all out of so P10, this is a lot of crit damage, and that's quite nice, but you need P10. So literally, if you were to go for him, like P4, really P5, and that's, you don't really need anything else. Unless you're well, then go P10. But P5 is like the bread and butter of it all, and everything. So now we've kind of seen that. Would I suggest you guys to summon? No, not at all. I know we haven't seen the engraving numbers and whatnot, but he just looks really, really poor. He just does not live up to the standard as I would think of as a sin. The amount we got from Elizabeth was insane. It was super, super good. Merlin, she was super, super good, even low potential. And he's okay at low potential, but who are you going to replace for him? You don't want to lose Elizabeth. She just does too much, right? If you've got Daisy, you want to use Daisy, of course, because she also does too much. She just gives so much with her kit. And then you've obviously got like Gowther, who's a fantastic like cheap support as well, or Manny. At this rate, I think you should have Manny, but if you don't, you just use Gowther. Now, I'm guessing some people would say, oh, what if I don't have Daisy? Is he worth getting? And even then, if you've got Elizabeth, I'd probably say no, because you would just use Manny, Elizabeth, and Gowther. So this is a massive skip in my opinion. Like it's just not like amazing or worthwhile. I would save. We've just had a fantastic support. We don't need another fantastic support. We don't burst anymore anyway. We want to do combo ults with our Merlin and our other guys to get the buffs. So we don't really need a burster at all. And then I don't know. It just doesn't sound good enough. I guess if you really, really love him and you're a collector, I'm gonna get him because I'm a collector, right? But as a free to play, if you've got Elizabeth, I would totally skip. 100% skip. If you've got Elizabeth, skip. If you don't have Daisy or Elizabeth, then maybe sure. Maybe then it would be worth it. But I'll be very surprised if you don't. Unless you're starting like literally on this patch, then maybe he would be worth getting. But no, massive skip. But with that being said, let's have a quick look at what else we're going to get, right? If you're a whale, here's his skin. Just a quick overview. Same old, but that's the skin. He's got a wand. I'm not sure why they didn't make it look like his bow or something. Like Merlin's orb and everyone else's stuff. It's a bit weird, but whatever. We're going to get Act 15, which is really cool. A new area. It's that area like above Leonis. That's what we're going to get. There's no new materials. All there is we're going to get more nodes for each. Hopefully it's more than just one or two. Hopefully we're getting like a good amount of each. That will help you guys get those potions to collect pets and us craft those engraving stuff, and more platinum is always welcome. Area specialty is the Barbarian Talisman. I'm guessing this is going to be needed for Gowther and his mastery, just like everyone else's have used other things. We've got more gatherables and cooking ingredients, basically the same old stuff. I doubt any new cooking is going to be worthwhile because nothing has in the past. We're going to get a new boss challenge, kind of just like how we had Galland. It was a new boss challenge. He's going to be weak to earth and lightning, so if you've got Lightning Merlin, fantastic. If you've got even Deanne or even Daisy, you're going to be fine. If you would like, let me know in the comments if you want me to run it with Drake. I can do that for you guys for a bit of fun. My Drake's only P5. So with him, we're going to get a new equipment set, and that's what we're going to use for the new engravings for these 6 characters, which is quite nice. Hopefully you guys have been stockpiling on your seals. And then there's another like Oath Talisman, which is kind of like those special equipments, like the Dark Chaos earrings. We had the Dragon belt, we had the Dark Tyrant chest plate and stuff. And let's see if they...
It's a new name. You guys got to see it from the video.
In the video.
Slightly. We have a new boss. And Giraffe features some interesting characteristics that we'll find out real soon. Upon clearing the challenge, you can obtain the Corroded Desire equipment. new equipments again. So finally we have a new boss, so very exciting, and which is used for the new equipment, engraved equipment.
Yeah.
So you can craft the new engraved equipment for Gowther, Elaine, Drake, Deanne, Merlin, and of course Gowther.
Okay.
Yeah, so this, I think, new boss, I think a lot of you guys will be challenging this boss.
And then additionally, in the case of the Oath Talisman necklace, as you can see on the screen, attacking grants you the barbaric protection effect. So when this effect reaches its maximum stacks and you trigger attack skill, your shield efficiency will increase for a certain duration. So if utilized properly, this sounds like it's gonna boost your overall combat sustainability.
So they did talk about the Oath Talisman in the stream, and basically is if as you're attacking, you're going to get stacks, and then when it's at max stacks, when you tag in with someone, they get a massive who wears this, I'm supposing, get a massive barrier efficiency. So I guess it's going to be good for Elaine if you want a really big shield or whatever. I'm not sure if you would use that over a 3-piece. Maybe it depends on the stat it gives plus the bonus stat, like it rolls. I'm guessing it have the same rolls as everything else, but we'll have to see, because usually those are set in stone what they actually give. So if it gives like barrier efficiency as like the top one or the bottom one, and it gives like magic charge efficiency, then that'll be really good. If there's double barrier efficiency, maybe still good. Whether or not you should wear it on someone, we'll have to wait and see. So let's see G-Clef just do a bit of the boss. I'm not going to do the whole thing because he just waits and dies, because he basically kills very quickly. So let's have a quick look at this, doing all the debuffs and everything, and then Gowther comes in, he does the burst, and just with Gowther is melted. So I'm not sure if that was first the easiest one or not, but that was kind of crazy, right? And as I said, he's going to be more of a sub DPS than like a buff or anything like that. With this update, we've got 2 new time space junction sectors. Excuse me, I'm going to have to get a drink. So we get 2 new time space junction sectors 9 and 10. We're going to get Molbog. Can be very easy with, basically you're going to be sorted with Lightning Merlin, or you're going to be sorted with Merlin anyway. So I know this is supposed to be his patch, like Gowther's patch, but you're going to be fine with Deanne and Merlin and stuff. I can try and showcase with Elaine on this one, and I can showcase this with like with Gowther P5, as I'm going to get him P5 mainly, or P4. And I can also showcase this with Drake as well. But I'm super happy about this. We're getting 2 more pets. Hooray! I love collecting pets. And then another armor set that we can craft. And this increases all allied heroes' attack when an allied hero lands a back attack. So this is going to be very interesting. And I think like no one mentioned this, and I don't know why, because they all were mentioning like Bug and Jericho, because it's like guarantees their back attack and whatnot, which is sure. But if you're using in like a cold team, if you're using your dual swords Manny, like with her dash attacks, she does the back attack really easily. So this is really nice. Issue is using the attack skill while this effect is active increases healing efficiency. So I really hope it doesn't override it and it still has the attack and the healing efficiency both at the same time. Also, it'd be nice to see how much attack. But this could be a really nice set for like pretty much any support. If you can jump in, you could back attack with them, because when you just tag in and get to their back, it's going to be quite nice. So I have to see the stats that it gives, the bonus stats, and how much percentage of attack and healing efficiency. So yeah, kind of cool. So we're going to get new raiders. They said it's going to be weak to fire and lightning. Basically, if you've got Escanor, Merlin, I'm sure any other lightning character is going to be fine. You're going to be good. I'm going to probably showcase doing it with Drake. I think that'll be quite fun. I don't really have a low level like Eskin or anything, or Gila, but I did the Gila showcase. I can showcase this with Gila as well if you like, so do let me know. But yes, we're going to get different raid pledges. So we do, instead of 4, it's only 3 fire or lightning heroes. Again, I wish they would make this just into 1 instead of separate. Really annoying. Time limit, ally buffs, enemy debuffs. Sorry, ally debuffs, enemy buffs. And we're going to showcase this in a second, but this is 12 minutes. And then we'll showcase these in a second because it kind of shows it just on the screen for a split second. What's interesting about this is the elite bosses appear in different locations. I'm sure should be a few set locations, and after a few runs we can learn them, and it won't be too bad. Lighting the fires helps you find the elite bosses, and it also weakens the final boss. So again, if you've got Merlin, you can just use her adventure skill. It'll be quite easy to do this, but you'll be using Lightning Merlin anyway. Again, it won't really matter. You're going to be good to go. So we're going to get a brand new set. Again, this is quite interesting. If it's going to be like an ally thing or not, because if it's not an ally thing, it's basically this set is for Gowther to make him a main DPS. It says using the tag skill increases crit damage by the burst efficiency of the hero's element. So get a ton of burst efficiency on Gowther, and you get a bunch of crit damage. The armor set is recommended for bursts to increase elemental damage of the team. Again, we'll have to see how this actually interacts with the team, if it's worth it. But it gives crit chance and pierce, and then all elemental damage increase. So we'll have to see if it's helping with the team or just really for DPS again. I really think we need some more supporting and bursting setups, and not just make them do lots and lots of damage or make them a DPS, or this is for DPS. So we see a little bit of the raid. Shakira has basically the same moves, other than one that I could see. But if a quick look here, they're just killing the elite bosses, and this is a dev. And look, they're doing some decent damage and whatnot. It's painful to see how slow that they're using Daisy. Like, they're the devs and they don't know the tech to put the Daisy thing down fast. But really, this is not a Gowther showcase that they're doing. They're showcasing how powerful Merlin is, which is kind of crazy. It looks like you don't even need Gowther whatsoever, with how little he's actually doing, from what I can tell. This soldier spider's in the exact same spot that we saw before. There's also the All Golem which is quite cool to see. But there we go. Again, Merlin's doing all the nuking. And they've got the All Golem, or the Gemstone Golem, sorry. You defeat him. And the whole thing is this: they're getting barriers that you have to break, which is kind of annoying. But what are you gonna do? You have to just deal with it. But again, Merlin just nukes. And then we get to Shakira. Again, they take so long to put the flowers down because they don't do the tech. Starts with a very big barrier. Doing the burst, and again, Merlin showcase of doing tons and tons of damage. But look, right away it charges, which is so annoying. Look, triple charge from the get-go. Quadruple charge from the get-go. I really hope it's not going to be something that it just continuously does that, because it is really, really annoying. But you should see one of the spider's new attacks. Here it is. You see that it goes upside down and like basically does like a twizzle attack 3 times. That's basically the new attack. All the rest, from what I can tell, is exactly the same. Of course, when you get it below 50% health, it does the mechanic to do the cocoons. As you can see, you'll see here, like, they do a ton of damage, so they have a lot of health, like 600k, and that was just below half health, so they have a lot of health. You can't just whack it. You're gonna actually have to use your skills to destroy the cocoons. And again, the other spin attack, which is kind of cool to see that they've added new attacks and whatnot. I haven't seen any other charges, but they might have like cut that out. Again, the same attackers that you have seen before. Not bad, not bad. They keep the hit and then they cut off, and then it runs up to the ceiling again. So that's about a quarter health. I'm guessing each quarter it will do. Oh, it's a different thing. So it's not the cocoons. Look, it goes up to the sky and do this attack you have to dodge. That's actually really cool, really interesting. I actually missed that in the stream myself, so that's actually really cool to see. But it's kind of annoying because then during that time you can't hit them. Similar to Tyrannus though. I think what's going to be really rough for Drake is he wants to be close by, and Merlin you can kind of be a lot more range to do her damage. So yeah, but yeah, he does it in plenty of time. Just solo himself. I know he's probably all P10s and whatnot, but he's not playing, or the dev's not playing perfectly, but he does it in 10 minutes. But yeah, let's have a quick look here because I did say I was going to show you the pledges. So let's just wait a second here. If we look at the pledges, I need to pause. So pledges, 12 minutes. The buffs, the enemies get 30% more attack, defense, and barrier efficiency to 50%. And then it says decreases the player's pierce by 8% and magic charge efficiency by something. I'm guessing it's going to be like 10 to 20%. But yeah, I would probably say you could probably do the bottom one. Magic charge efficiency is not too bad. We get so much magic charge anyway. If it's more than 20%, then that would be concerning because this is going to mean you take ages, and it's just because of the barrier efficiency. You know, attack not too bad, just dodge. Defense, we're going to reduce their defense a bunch anyway. So yeah, that's that. We're also getting knighthood boss battles, so you can do it with your knighthood members, 1 to 5 people. Attack Akumi to gain points. A stronger Akumi appears whenever HP is depleted, so basically you keep killing him over and over and over, and he'll get stronger and stronger and stronger, and you get a bunch of points for doing so. To deal as much damage within the time limit. It says here to form teams with different elements. So say one of your knighthood members really is maxed out in a wind team, he'll use the wind team. You can use your lightning Merlin, someone can use an ice Merlin, someone can use Escanor, someone can use Meliodas, you know. So just basically split it up, don't all run the same thing. I'm guessing there's going to be some sort of mechanic why we want all the different elements. But there's going to be rankings determining by your knighthood's highest scores, and then you're going to receive the coin. So basically, this is going to be like unfortunately, whale friendly in the sense if you want a lot of coins, you're going to want to be a whale and be in a whale knighthood. If you've got some lowbies, maybe not the best idea. Depending on how the ranking goes, it could just take your best run, which means you only need 5 whales within your knighthood to be okay. If it's an accumulation of your all of the runs you do with the knighthood, that would mean you want basically a full team of whales of very, very strong people. Also, it will depend how many coins we get and how much things will cost. But what can we get from the shop? We get 2 new skins. It looks like they've made it like a T-bone steak as an axe skin, which is kind of funny and kind of cool. And then this heart wand. It looks like a wand. It could be a staff. And then you can get some SSR shards and keys. But you also can choose to get this gear set. Using the attack skill increases ultimate move damage and ultimate move crit damage. So either this is going to be what you want potentially for just to do in this boss, or nothing else. Because literally the only person that's going to be nuking with the ult is going to be maybe Gowther now and Escanor. And then with other leaderboards, most of the time, at least with Gallant that we've seen, we're not going to be using the tag skill. So we're not going to get these buffs, right? Maybe it's going to be good in some sectors, but at the moment, from what my knowledge of what's within the game, this doesn't really look like it's worth it unless it's going to be goated for this boss in itself. We'll have to see. So they did mention like preset kind of things. And I'm very skeptical about this. It is quite nice for, say, like Merlin, right? You've got her book, you've got her staff, you've got her wand. It means that you can have different setups for each one, depending on how you want to build them, which is quite nice. My only issue with this is it sounds like, say you run the same gear setup on one character than you use on a different one. So say you're running your normal skill setup with Meliodas, the same as Merlin's lightning. It means that they can't both equip the same setup. So it's still not good enough, in my opinion. It's nice if you've got lots and lots of sets you can put on every single person. And it's nice if you just run one character in the same team with different weapons. But other than that, I think it's kind of not that big of a W that people might be saying. Because again, I've put my normal skill stuff on Meliodas. Actually, now I need my lightning Merlin. Oh great, now we have to manually switch over and over and over. We'll have to see, but from what I can tell, that's kind of what it looks like is going to happen. Some other things other than the equipment management, we're having enhanced combat visibility. I've been asking this like since day one. This should be really, really nice. So we should be able to see things a lot easier. And they're fixing the tags with combined ultimates. Because so often, if you brought out Daisy, used a skill, and then switched to say like Meliodas and try and combo ult, she would still be on the field like with her skill animation or something. And then she wouldn't do combo ult, so they're fixing that. And then there's some events. So I've got the check-in event, basically the same stuff as usual, potions, pools and seals and keys, which is quite nice. The 300 that we get with every new character. The Twigo mission, they said this is kind of like more like a fun mission event that's similar to Magic Pop. And you have to do stuff with Twigo, so we'll have to see about that, but it's still a nice amount of star fragments. And then the Conqueror's Path, complete boss challenges and raid missions for hero pickup ticket draws and 5 mystic keys. I don't know what these 5 mystic keys are. Potentially it means you could do the raid more, because this is kind of what in my mind is what the raid keys look like. Again, they didn't say in the stream, and neither did the content creators. They were just saying it's just normal keys. I don't know why. I'm pretty certain this is what the raid keys are, which is quite nice, which means that we can do more raids throughout the week. And then we can choose if we want to do the Spider raid, Shakira raid, or Trannis. We've got some events to go on if you want to try and win some stuff. There is a code, another code. I'll put all the new codes within the description, so don't worry about that. So go ahead and join the Discord or the X event if you like. And then there's the Twitch drops. So if you watch someone who's streaming 7 Deadly Sins, you get these drops. And that's it, basically. So, again, I would probably skip Gowther if you're free to play, if you're a spender. If you're a light spender, again, I'd probably skip. If you're a whale, sure, go ahead. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, or just want to support me, just consider leaving a like and a comment. I'd really appreciate that. Hopefully I can keep giving you content even whilst I try and recover. But yeah, until next time, cheerio.